you what the difference is between chopping your herbs with your knife versus doing it in a food processor. Today I have some parsley that I'm going to show you. First, I wanted to talk about how to prepare your herbs for chopping. So one thing you want to do after you wash it, you want to make sure that it is dry. A couple of reasons: you don't want to add extra moisture to your food, and also it is easier to chop. Actually, if you're chopping it either way, by hand or in the food processor, it's easier to chop when it's dry versus wet. And you want to make sure that you take just the leaves. You don't want to leave the stem in there. It's going to have a bitter taste. Some herbs are a little bit more forgiving. For example, cilantro has a really tender stem most of the times. So like I said, it's a little bit more forgiving. You can leave a little bit of the stem in there. But for most other herbs, probably want to take just the leaves off. And for example, rosemary has a really tough stem. So definitely just try and get the leaves as much as you can. Alright, so I have some chopped here. They're washed, they're dried, and I'm going to cut them sort of in half. Since the food processor is bigger, I'm going to add a little bit more in the food processor just to make sure that it works properly. Okay, so I am going to put this in here and chop. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple more pulses. Okay, so I'm going to leave it, and I won't show you until after I cut some by hand. Then you can put it on the cutting board and you can see the difference. Okay, so when you want to chop herbs, you kind of want to hold it together as best as you can. You hold your knife like this and you slice. Really, you're slicing, you're not chopping. This is chopping, and it's not as efficient to cut this way as it is to slice. Then you will gather your herbs. I'm going to chop these pretty finely because I want it to better incorporate into my food, so you don't get these big pieces. Then you're not getting one bite with a lot of parsley flavor and one bite with none. So if you chop it pretty finely, then it's spread throughout your dish. I'm going to put this parsley actually in a marinara sauce that I'm going to make in another video. So this is going to go in a tomato sauce. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. Okay, so let's move it over here. And then let's dump the ones from the food processor and we can see the difference. Now I am telling you, I am showing you this, so whatever you decide to do, whether you chop it by hand or whether you do it in a food processor, obviously your choice. It's your home, you're cooking. There's no chopping police that's going to come to your door. But at least you're making an educated decision that you know why you're doing it the way you are doing it. And for cooking, to become a good cook, it's not the recipe, it's all these little tips and techniques and all these little details that you pay attention to. Okay, so if we could zoom in, let's zoom in a lot so we can really see the difference. All right. Okay, so this, now if you remember, a little piece of onion in there. If you remember, I took them from the same pile, but this looks a little bit more wet than this. And then if you look at the pieces, some of them are chopped small, there's some big pieces, it's not even at all. Whereas this that I chopped by hand is much more even. Again, the decision is up to you how you want to do it. If you want to do it by hand or if you want to do it by processor. But again, I want you to make an educated decision and know why you're doing it and what the finished result is going to be. Okay, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more kitchen tips.